Well, hey guys, it's been a while, and I apologize. Those who are new to the channel. I broke my leg July 3rd, and we are just finally now doing about 10 days ago, started doing some weight bearing, walking. I've got a few spots in my foot that some of the joints and tendons that I'm trying to work through the pain, getting some physical therapy and all that. But anyway, that's not what you're here for. So we're trying to get ready for Hot Rod Drag Week, and basically 8 weeks ago I broke my leg down at the bottom by the ankle, my tibia. So 9 screws and a plate later, we're walking again. So what are we trying to do to get ready for Drag Week? Because this is a Wednesday. I leave a week from Friday, so not too far away. Trying to get my 1970 Dodge Dart Swinger ready. This car has run one Street Machine Eliminator in 2023. So we are plumbing in a new nitrous controller for this. So before it was basically, let's throw all the nitrous right off the head on this thing. And in 2023, we were throwing 150 shot at it, stock pistons, stock cranks, stock rods, Eldebrock heads, intake carb, very basic setup. Now we've got a different engine in it. We've got a 403 stroker motor with forged pistons, rods that'll support 750 horsepower. We're still running a cast crank, but I'm only going to throw about 125 shot at it. And with the progressive controller, we're not going to throw it all in the hit. We'll maybe bring in half at 75 shot, or like a 65, 70 shot at half a second. Or off the hit, and then at half a second we'll start bringing the rest in. So that way it's a little more linear pattern, right? Not just bam and let's get it all. So we're gonna do a NOS progressive controller. I'm not gonna go all over how to program it. Sorry, there's some of my learning to walk again. How to wire it up, but more of what am I going to do? Because I'm not going to take my Drag Week trailer with me because, being a gimpy ass, I'm not going to try to unhook it, hook it, deal with it in parking lots and everything else. Granted, there would be people there to help, but I'm packing the bare minimum this year, guys. I mean, bare minimum. Timing light, some nitrous jets, some carburetor parts, some hand tools, the nitrous bottles, the drag tires, a jack, some jack stands, nitrous bottle heater, and, just a few little odds and ends from there. We're going bare minimum. So I'll show you what I'm going to take here in a little bit once we get this guy wired up. So welcome to the channel. Sorry, a little bit of talking, but yeah, I'll be a gimp butt at Drag Week with a broken leg, or getting over a broken leg. So if you see me there, stop by and go, "You're a dumbass. You won't hurt my feelings. Trust me. I know. I've got to drive from Michigan to Maryland, right? That's a long drive. Yeah, but we're going to do it anyway because why? It's Hot Rod Drag Week." All right, guys, so here's my little Harbor Freight trailer that I have enclosed. And I am not taking it for this drag and drive event, with a recovering broken leg. I know there's people that would help, but we're not going to take it just in case, I have an issue during the week and I've got to turn around and head back to the truck and trailer. Then I would have to try to load this by myself. So we are going to take the bare minimum. So let me prop this up and you can see, I've got pockets here with stuff in it. We've got the nitrous bottles, access to quick tools, and a couple of totes. So there's not a lot in here in reality. But I'm going to pare this down to basically 2 nitrous bottles, some hand tools. There's some tools, there's a socket set already in the trunk of the car and a breaker bar and some of that stuff. But we're going to do the bare minimum. So let me go ahead and dig through this stuff, and I will show you what I'm going to basically take. We'll lay it out here on the back of the trailer, and I'll show you what we're going to pack. So basically, guys, I'm paring it down to this. This is all we're taking, plus the tool bag that's already in the car. So first aid kit, here is carburetor parts, nitrous parts, and I'll throw a bunch of miscellaneous electrical stuff in there just in case. Spare oil, transmission fluid, brake clean, carb cleaner, ignition box, a couple of just spare plug wires, you just never know. Ignition coil, tire patch kit, some pliers, some wrenches. I've got some other wrenches in the car already, a couple screwdrivers. Here is to be able to change spark plugs and my jets for the carburetor. Couple of AN fittings, some tape, so that way I put the tape on the nitrous bottle so I can mark how many runs I've got on the nitrous bottle. We've got just a fuel filter, timing light, an extra V-band just in case, nitrous bottle heater. Got to have some, towels to clean your hands. Basically, a quick down and dirty power ground, something with a test bulb on it just so I can use it as a test light. Extra spark plugs, couple pair of ice grips. You can see here's basically some silicone and also like water weld for like if the radiator happens to pop a leak, minute weld, spare alternator, some shop towels and funnel. And that's basically, those are stop light bulbs in case I have a problem. I've got like extra relay in here as well. Butt connectors, some loose wire, stuff like that in case I need to rig something up. So we'll go over to the car here in a second, and I'll show you basically what's in the trunk of the car. And this is all we're taking, so now I just got to figure out how to pack it up and organize it in there. Now, the other things I don't have sitting out are the 2 nitrous bottles. Those will be going as well. The other thing I forgot to mention, I just set them up here, jack stands. Well, here's the mess, which is currently the trunk of the car. So you can see I've got the battery back here. I've got like fuse for the alternator back here, battery cables run back here, nitrous bottle brackets, jack and race tires. In here is a tool bag, that's a socket set and some miscellaneous sockets and wrenches in there. So basically I put this here to protect the tire from rubbing on this during travel. And in this bag I'll have my changeover stuff. I'll have my impact gun and spare battery, the lug nuts and all that are in here. Up under there you can kind of see the yellow bag. I've got a small compressor in there so I can air the tires up if I need to. I will not be taking that, for the pull the trailer, so we can leave that behind. So what I can do is I can take probably these brackets out, and I'm going to use those totes to pack up what little I'm taking. Whatever fits in those goes. So we can probably set one here and then set one in the front, or 2 in the front seat down in the footwell, and then take my luggage, my helmet, my fire suit. And that's all we're taking this year for drag week. We're taking the bare minimum. All right, guys, this is why you go into your car and do a last minute nut and bolt check. Because, they've all come a little loose. The other thing I need to do is check my pinion stubber out back to make sure it's tight. And we'll do a quick suspension inspection as well. And you can see all the nice spider webs and cobwebs under here maybe, after it's been sitting for 2 months. All right, guys, so we've got the nitrous controller all wired up here. I put in a tune. So basically, I've got it set up 50% on the hit, and then over 0.6 seconds, it will bring in the other 50% in a linear fashion. So the graph basically, just goes up like this. And right now, if we hit the micro switch, you'll hear 0.6 seconds. You heard the solenoid cycle, and basically, we got all the nitrous. And if you noticed, this went from off to on, telling us that, there we go. So the nitrous basically will come on from 0 RPM up to, I've got it, where it kicks out at like 6,800. I don't shift any faster. I shift around 5,600 RPM, and it maxes out around 6,100 maybe at the stripe. No, I should say around 6,000 at the stripe. So we've got this all done. I've got to tuck all the wires in now. If you kind of look under the dash, it's hard to see, but I've got a bunch of wiring mess. So I just need to clean up the wiring at this point. And we've got the nitrous controller done. There's another big step. So it only took a couple hours of me being a contortionist, you know, under there with a broken leg. So that was fun. The leg's getting a little sore, so we'll wrap up the wires here probably tomorrow. I haven't yet to start the car or drive it in 2 months. We've got a nitrous, you know, controller to work, but yeah, that's about it so far. I got everything packed up, ready to put in the car. Charging up batteries and for the impact, you know, do changeover, getting flashlights charged up, that kind of stuff. So those will be ready to go. So I'm going to go ice up my foot because it's bothering me and it's a little sore. Take a little break, and then we'll either come out here tonight and finish it up or come out first thing tomorrow and finish the wiring. And by the way, this is Monday now. So, you know, we're only, you know, a couple of days away from packing up and loading up and leaving. I still got to, you know, charge up the trailer battery. Like I said, see if the car will start. If we need to jump start and get this battery going, I need to do a couple other little things. So time is ticking. All right, guys, car is fully loaded. No trailer. So we've gone under the underside of the car, made sure everything was all right. Tightened up them exhaust fasteners. Checked the front suspension, checked, you know, the rear end real quick. Believe it or not, this car has sat for 2 months and not a drop of fluid underneath it. Now, watch. It'll probably leak like a sieve during drag week, but it didn't leak at all here in the pole barn. So we've got stuff in the front seats, you know, a couple of totes full of stuff. Everything else is, there's only thing in the back seat is basically my helmet and my fire suit. That's it. We'll be able to put my luggage in the front seat. I've got a tarp down here to help protect the front seat. And then we'll have a little Buc-ee's cooler. And then basically, you know, the tires, the jack stands, you know, a couple of miscellaneous things are in the trunk. So that's pretty much it. We're ready for drag week. Well, let me rephrase that. I got to start it yet and drive it to make sure she's good for drag week. Well, she runs. Like I said, she hadn't started in 2 months. We got to make sure the battery's good. So we'll take it for a little short spin around the block, which a block around here is like probably 3 miles. Living out in the country now. So that's the last thing to do. Fire it up, get it running, take it up for a short spin, make sure we, you know, we still got all 3 gears from 6 Summer. And yeah, that's, we'll load it up on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, and hit the road on Friday morning. So we'll see you guys, you know, in a future upload, or we'll see you there.